Yeah, hello there and welcome back, and let us continue over here. And today we are going to discuss about the remote job, and I have a two questions for you. One is, are you looking for the remote job? And the second one is, how do I prepare for it? So if you have these two questions in your mind, then you have come into the right place, and today we'll be discussing about it. And I'll be just covering the non-technical part over here, and I'll be creating a separate video for the technical requirements. So let us get started into it. And next is that we will look into the requirements. So what will be the requirement for finding a remote job, or what will be the requirement to prepare for the remote job? So if you see the list over here for the requirement, the first one is about the trust, second one is about the communication, third one is about the collaboration, and the fourth one is ability to work independently, self-motivated, time management, empathy, and the humility. It's a long list over here, right? So this is a general requirement, I guess, and when I look into the candidate, when they want to work remotely, I look into this particular list over here, right? So this is the general list for me when I interview a candidate, and it may be a different for the different companies, and it may not be a same, but generally I guess this should be within this particular list over here requirement. You will find that they will be looking into the candidate. And for me, when I'm interviewing a candidate that's going to work remotely, I will be looking into this particular point over here. So the first one is the trust. Trust is the most important point over here, because you are working remotely, and then your teammate or your company should be able to trust you, and you should be able to trust them. So you're working in a completely different time zone, a different country or different state, and then if you want to work together, you need to have a trust. If you don't have a trust, there is no work, right? So you need to gain the trust, and they need to be able to trust you. And just ask this question to yourself, like, can they trust me, or can they trust you? And are you able to trust them, right? So if the answer is yes, then that's the good starting point. And if you think that, oh no, I will have a difficulty on trusting people or my teammate, or they will have difficulty in trusting me because I'm not so trustworthy, maybe I am not in punctual on time, and maybe instead of working, I may just go out and spend hours in doing something, like I may not be a trustworthy person. So if you have this concept in your mind, then you are not fit for the remote job. Okay, so make sure that people is able to trust you, because when you're working remotely, the main concept is about the trust, because people cannot see you, right? Unless the company is going to install some kind of the tracking software inside your laptop or the MacBook, then that's the different point. But I guess the company is not going to do that one, right? That's the breach of the trust. So if company is installing something on your computer or your laptop to track your work or track the job, right? That's the not good point to get started over there. If somebody is doing like that, then you just have to say no, right? You cannot join that particular company because there is no trust at all. And if you think that people is going to trust you and you are going to trust people, then there is a real work, right? So that's the good starting point. So you can trust the company, and the company can trust you to do their job, right? So that's a good starting point over there. So make sure you ask this question to yourself: are you able to trust them, and are they able to trust you? So can they trust you, or are you able to trust them? So the first thing that you need to remember. And if you think that you don't have this particular trust, then just forget about the remote job. Just find that the regular work for you. So just the regular work may be suitable for you, and then the remote job, that you just have to forget about it. So the first point is trust, and if you are zero on that one, just forget it. And the next thing is about the communication. So how well you can communicate, because you may be working in a different time zone, and you may have a different like a language, right? And you may have when you are working in a different time zone, you may be working on different like a time, and your particular teammate may be not available. So how we are going to communicate? So if you don't have a communication skill, that will be a really difficult point to start. And mainly when you are working remotely, you need to be able to communicate through the chat messages or the text, right? Because you don't have you may not be able to communicate through the phone call, or you don't have a person sitting beside you, or you cannot go to the office and talk to them, right? You may be able to do a video call, or the like huddle in the Slack, but they may not be available always. So you need to be able to write it clearly. So the writing is the main point over here when you are communicating. So when you are writing, you need to be clear what you want, or what you want them to understand. Like, your sentence should be clearer, don't just write something that they are going to understand wrongly. So miscommunication, that's going to have a miscommunication. So make sure when if you want to work remotely, you need to be able to write it in the correct sentence, or you need to have you need to be sure that they can understand you. If you are just writing, like, say, if you need a certain file, and maybe you say, hey, I need a so and so file, but you just stop there. But why do you need that file? And what is the purpose of that file? So if you cannot communicate, and you should just say that, hey, I need a file and the so and so and file, but the another side people will say, I will ask you again, why do you need that file? Where is that file? So you need to be clear about that, right? So why do you need that file? Where to get that file? Like a proper communication. So when they read that particular message, they should be clear about it. So that's another communication. And if you don't have this skill, just keep trying. Keep trying. And then the next point is about the collaboration. So how you are going to collaborate with your teammate, because when you are working remotely, you are just working from your home, or maybe you are in the cafe, or you're just enjoying over there, but you are not with the team. So when you have a new idea, or when you have a new solution, how you are going to collaborate with each other? So you need to work on that one, and you need to understand how company is collaborating, what kind of tools they are using, and you need to be able to comfortable with that one, right? So it's all about the collaborating with your teammates, because you can't sit in the same table and have a discussion about a certain problem and finding a solution about it. So you need to be able to communicate remotely about finding the solution, right? And working it together. And the next thing is ability to work independently. So when you're working in the office, you have your teammate, you have your lead, you have your manager, together there, and they may be helping you in a lot of the things when you are together. But when you are working remotely, you need to be independent, because you cannot always depend on them. You need to take certain decision by yourself. You need to find the problem solution for yourself. You need to be able to do all of this stuff. Just not depend on your team to help you and guide you always, but you need to be able to do independently. That's the main thing. So are you able to do it yourself? Are you independent? Keep in mind, or are you always dependent on somebody else to fix your problem or fix your work? You need to understand that one. And another one is about the self-motivated. So how do you motivate yourself? And do you get discouraged, like just by not getting a little bit of the feedback from your team, or if the feedback was not good, maybe you get discouraged, or maybe you don't see any result out of it? You are maybe working for a month on the same project, but or maybe you are trying to fix this certain problem for the weeks now, and you don't find any solution for it. Maybe you get discouraged, and nobody is there to encourage you, right? Because you're working alone, and you don't have a teammate. You cannot go out for the lunch together, go and chat together, have a coffee together, and you may get discouraged over there, and you may lose a motivation over there. So how you are going to keep that motivation without having your teammate, without having your team lead, and that's the point of the thing that you need to work on. Are you self-motivated? Can you keep motivated yourself to complete a certain task, to fix certain problem, to find certain solution? Can you keep motivated even if you can't find for the weeks or the months? Can you keep working on it without giving up? So that's the self-motivated. So you need to be motivated because you're working remotely, and nobody is there to always there to motivate. Always the team is always there behind you to motivate you or to support you, but they are not always beside you because they are working remotely too, right? And then you don't have the I need a motivation now, and nobody's coming up boom there and giving some motivation tips to you. And the next thing is about the time management, how well you can manage your time, right? Can you be on time? Can you complete the tasks on time? Can you manage hey, if you have a meeting, just invite me for this time to this time, and if you have the tasks to develop something, then you separate the time. Like if you have a multiple project that you're working, so how well you can separate the time on if you have all this kind of situation. Can you manage your time? Or you get stuck, maybe I need to join this meeting, or maybe I need to join that meeting. Maybe you get an invitation to the multiple meeting or the multiple project, have a same meeting at the same time, or maybe you get a task from the multiple projects so that you need to complete. So can you separate the time? Which time you are going to do which tasks, which time you are attending which meeting? Can you separate which is important, which is not important? So can you manage your time and be able to manage it? So that is about the time management. So when you're working remotely, and you need to be able to manage your time, right? Like you work till so late night, and tomorrow morning you cannot wake up and you miss the important meeting. That's a bad time management, because you had some important meeting in the morning, but you cannot complete some tasks at the night, and you work till whole night, and morning at the important meeting you were unable to attend. So that's not a good time management, right? So that is another thing that you need to keep in mind. So can you manage your time yourself? And then the another thing is about the empathy. Can you show empathy to your teammate if they are having some problem, or if they are facing some issue, like in the personal or maybe in work issue or the personal issue? Can you show them by empathy? Or yeah, I just told you, but you didn't follow me. Are you that kind of person? Hey, I told you not to do it, but you just did it, and now you face a problem. That's your problem, not my one. If you are that kind of person, then sorry, no for me. I'm not sure about the other, but no for me. Okay, you need to show some empathy. Even if you find some mistake on other people, you should be able to show some empathy, right? You need to understand them. Main thing is you need to understand them, how they are feeling about it. It's not about you, it's about them, it's about your teammate. Can you be able to work together in your teammate? So that comes about the trust, right? So if you don't have empathy, you don't have a trust. I guess it's related over there, right? So empathy is really important when you're working remotely, because you don't work closely together. You are not in the same table. You cannot have a lunch together, you cannot have a coffee together, you cannot go out for the party together, and at the time you cannot make friends. You are not friends with your teammate over there. You are not a co-worker that have a close relation over there. You cannot generate a close relation, and when there is no close relation, you don't have empathy for other people. So even though if you are working remotely, you should have this skill on your side. You should be able to show the empathy, not just like hey, I told you before not to do it, but you did it, and I think that's completely your fault. So even if that's fault, you should be able to show some the empathy, hey, sorry about it, I feel bad about it, I'm with you, I can help you to get out of it. If you don't have this, sorry, forget about it. I'm not sure about the other company, but in my team, if you don't have empathy, there is no place. And then you have humility, and this is also really important because when you are working remotely, you are working with the different kind of the people, and you don't know them personally, you have never seen them, you have never met them, different religion and different mindset, different culture, and can you show them a humility? Can you be a humble, like accepting a feedback? Some people may be like direct to you, like, hey, you made a mistake over here, hey, you did bad over there, you should not have done that one. And then you may be able to accept the feedback. Don't get like hey, that person just said me this one, no, but you need to be able, you need to have a humility, and you need to understand, you need to have this kind of the concept, like taking a feedback is a good point. You need to understand what is your weakness, and you need to be able to work on it. And it's not just say I'm the superhero here, I know everything, I'm the great person over here, I'm the leader, I'm the senior over here. No, if you if you have that kind of feeling, then you are not suitable for me, okay, or you are not suitable for the remote job. And you need to have this kind of humility over there, because you can't see the person in the in face to face. You're not always there in this sitting on the same table, or in the same office together. And then if you don't have a humility to the another people about their feelings, right, and if you just think like you are just the one over there superior, and you don't have any humbleness to other people, and you don't care about their feeling, you don't respect their feeling, that is a bad sign. So these are the general like the requirement, non-technical requirement that you need to work on. And when I look into the candidate, I will generally see all of this. And it's also depend on the level that you're looking into it, what level you are applying for it. And if you are just a fresh graduate, and the requirement maybe a bit go down, and if you have some years of experience, they may expect some higher expectation from you. So if you are preparing for the remote job, and if you want to get started with the remote job, then just walk into this and see where are you, and try to work on the things that you are not comfortable. If you don't have a trust, and if people cannot trust you, like if you get a job, but if you get a task and you have to submit it by tomorrow, but today you are just like, instead of working, just playing a game, chatting on the phone, and instead of focusing on the completion of tasks, and you thought maybe I will do it and later at the end of the time, but at the end you were unable to complete it, right? And suppose you say, hey, I'm working today, but you just went out to the market, went shopping with your girlfriend, and that is a bad thing about the trust, right? So can they trust you on that one? Can I trust you, right? So that is the main thing about it. So just work on it. And remote job is booming, and everybody is nowadays, you see a lot of the jobs that is coming out. Previously you don't see much of the remote jobs, but now you see a lot of the remote jobs about coming up for the developers. So if you are a developer, and if you are looking for the remote jobs, then I guess you should be looking into this particular sheet over here. And it may not be all check mark over here. Some company may have different requirements, but generally I guess every company will have this particular concept over here. So you should be walking about and get the basic idea from here what you should be working on. And I hope this video will help you, and I'll be creating some more videos on the technical part. How do I hire for the technical part? And then if you have any questions, just leave me a comment below, and if you need any help, just leave a comment and I'll get back to you. So that's all, and let's meet up in the next video. Till then, have a great day.